are looking at the top of New England's highest peak, Mount Washington in New Hampshire. And guess what? It's a mild day at the home of what's been called the world's worst weather. In February, it recorded what may be the lowest wind chill in U.S. history, 109 degrees below zero.
Is that Nancy?
I hope that's not Nancy. For our series, Pushing the Limits, we met the researchers who collect weather and climate data in extreme conditions. Their data helps shape work around the world, including on Mount Everest. Our Nancy Chen traveled up the 6,200-foot Mount Washington to learn more.
Work together and you all Mount Washington, not a place you want to be.
And the air temperatures could smash records.
Our journey to some of the most extreme weather on Earth started at Mount Washington's base in New Hampshire.
This is what we're taking all the way to the top.
As we jumped aboard a snowcat to climb more than 6,200 feet up, New England's tallest peak.
On a bad day, this stretch through here can be very tough.
How fast can you go in this?
7, 8 miles an hour.
Ooh, that's a lot of wind.
Oh, that's not bad.
We're traveling with a team of researchers as they change shifts. Crews rotate spending the week at the summit's observatory.
There definitely are other places on the planet that experience weather like this, but no one's there.
Jay Broccolo is the director of weather operations for the observatory, a nonprofit dedicated to understanding weather and climate.
So you feel like you're experiencing weather history?
Oh, absolutely.
And being a part of history happens often. In February, the wind chill here plunged to a record 109 degrees below zero.
Long time no see.
Something to look forward to as we finally reach the summit 2.5 bumpy hours later.
All right. Made it to the top. Now the adventure really begins.
Mount Washington's latitude, height, and atmosphere make it uniquely prone to extreme weather, which is why observers collect measurements day and night, 365 days a year.
We have our max.
Weather observer Hayden Pearson showed us how.
So when we go outside for the observations, we take what's called a sling psychrometer, which we keep in this heated little box right here, and it has 2 thermometers on it.
Despite advances in technology, it's the same instrument they've been using for 90 years to ensure consistent and accurate record keeping. Researchers head out every hour on the hour to track temperature and humidity. On this day, the wind chill was 22 below zero.
How cold does it have to be that you say, I'm not going out there?
I don't think there is a too cold.
So no limit, you are out here doing this.
Every day, every hour.
Observers also record wind speed on instruments that feed to the National Weather Service.
So when you're up here, you can see 5 states, 2 countries, and 1 ocean.
Not too shabby.
Not too bad for an office view.
So very large area of low pressure developing.
From the highest point at the peak, we could also see tomorrow's weather.
That's the actual storm front that's working its way in from the southeast.
So that's the storm right there.
That is the storm, yes.
Just 12 hours later, a different scene.
This is what it looks like after a snowstorm came in overnight. Visibility right now is 0 because we are in the cloud dropping snow on the land below.
So you're in what's producing the weather as well, which is pretty neat. It's kind of like storm chasing, but instead of chasing it, we wait for it to come to us.
The information they collect and immediately log helps shape forecasts nationwide.
Increasing to 35.
Building on the work of generations that came before, the observatory maintains what is now one of North America's longest continuous climate records.
There are stations that collect information like you do, but they're without humans, without people doing something with it. It's not the same kind of research.
Yeah, there's not people there, so a lot of times they'll take that data and just assume it's right, because the instrumentation said that's what it is.
So there's nothing quite like the human touch.
Yeah, exactly.
That accurate research matters in understanding climate change.
Climate is made up of daily weather patterns, and those daily weather patterns slowly change over time, and that's what makes up our climate. And here, we get to see it, we get to live in it, and we get to see what happens after the fact.
Are you able to see climate change here?
Yeah, we can. We've noted a slight increase in temperature up on the summit. We've seen shorter snow seasons. The melting out of snow is occurring a little bit earlier. How we grow food for people, how we supply water, how we clean water.
Sure.
It all matters. It all ends up back to weather patterns.
12 to 18 inches of snow.
Which is why researchers and volunteers continue to staff the observatory.
So you guys work together and you all bunk together too.
Yeah, I mean, we spread out when we can.
They sleep, cook, and eat together before unwinding at the end of the day.
There's another toadette in this race.
Ultimately, up in the clouds, Brocklow says the observatory is a family.
Everyone's here to do the same purpose. They want to be a part of the history. There's so many hardy souls that have spent time of their life on the summit. And being part of that is really meaningful and fulfilling. We do feel very proud of what we do, and that goes a long way.
On top of all that, it is worth noting the fastest wind speed ever directly observed by humans was also on Mount Washington. That was back in 1934 at 231 miles per hour.
Amazing.
Not that cold when we were there, but still pretty cold.
Yeah, I like the phrase spread out when we can. They go from the top bunk to the bottom bunk. That's their idea, spreading out. And Nancy, what was that like for you? I'm thinking, was Shauna Thomas the Big Cheese mad at you? It's terrifying to me to be that cold.
It is. It's pretty cold. I would say you bundle up a lot. There's that saying, there's not bad weather, just bad clothing. And so you wear several layers. I will say my nostrils hurt for a good 2 or 3 days afterwards.
Couldn't even tell it was you in a lot of those shots. The cat, I think, stays indoors. Nancy, thank you very much.